Hey there, and welcome to this week's Hacking Your Hormones for Weight Loss Q&A. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Phyllis Thompson, your favorite hormone hacking coach for weight loss. In every single one of my lives, you'll walk away with at least one tip that you can implement right away to start shrinking that waist, feeling better, getting rid of pesky symptoms like hot flashes, night sweats, brain fog, and low libido. Things that make us feel like we're not quite ourselves at this stage of life. And guess what? You don't have to settle. Just know that. Okay, so this week we got 2 questions, but first let me tell you how to submit your question, right? So when we post the live event, you're going to go into the comments where we put the link for you to submit your question in the questionnaire, and that is how your question gets on the live, right? So we have 2 questions. Our first one is from Melissa, who asks, how do I get rid of this brain fog? Well, so first let me tell you what causes brain fog, right? So brain fog is the result of excess estrogen. Well, how does that happen? Well, if we have high stress lives, our body will take progesterone, which is one of our sex hormones, to make more cortisol to accommodate all the stress, right? And when that happens, it makes us estrogen dominant, right? So we have non-opposed estrogen, for lack of a better phrase, right? Estrogen is just running amok in your body, causing all sorts of problems. And that is what causes brain fog. Often, when you're high stress too, you're not sleeping enough, and that's going to contribute to that brain fog, and it affects productivity at work. So here's some things you could do. Know that you need to get your hormones in balance, obviously. So you need that progesterone to come up and that estrogen, to come down. Ways to do that: increasing your cruciferous veggies, right? Broccoli, cabbage, things like that. It is so easy to just add a little bit of something into a smoothie. Throw a little bit of broccoli into a pot with some organic. I like to use vegetable broth and a little pink Himalayan sea salt. I grew up on vegetables that were smothered in salt and butter. Guess what? That does not work for our bodies at this stage of life. It's not healthy for us either. One of my favorite ways to make veggies now is with organic vegetable broth and sea salt. And you just put it in a pot and you cook that to your desired tenderness, and it tastes amazing. And it helps you get more of it right into your body. Cabbage, easy. Dice it up, saute it, and there you have a meal. You could put some Bragg's aminos on it if you like. Perfect thing for you to have to help increase those cruciferous veggies, to help, because what cruciferous veggies do is they metabolize some of that excess estrogen in your body. Other things you want to do is limit plastics exposure, right? There are tons of women I see every day on the street that look like, and I don't want to make this sound bad, but so excess estrogen also presents as belly fat, right? So at this stage of life, I'm 47, so you're over your 40s, right? And you're struggling with belly fat, and I see them with these plastic bottles of water. And it's just because they don't know, I think, or they haven't thought about making the switch. But these plastic bottles have BPAs in them, right? And even if it says BPA free, it has another type of plastic softener in it, which is not good for your body. So what these BPAs do is they increase the estrogen dominance, which is going to increase your brain fog. So switch your plastics out. You can take it a step at a time. I switched my water bottle, I want to say about a year ago, and I use a stainless steel bottle now. And as far as cruciferous veggies, I do my best to make sure I'm getting a couple of servings of that a week, right? Not even a week, actually it's a day. I eat broccoli almost every day. So, making sure you're helping to metabolize that excess estrogen. Because if your system is not functioning right, if you're imbalanced and you're getting a ton of processed foods, then it's going to make it harder for your body to function optimally and metabolize those excess estrogens. So start there, and that should really help with your brain fog. If you have any more questions about that, don't hesitate to reach out. And then my other question was, is it possible, sorry, her name is Tina, is it possible to get my thyroid functioning without medication? 100% it is. But there's a few caveats to that. If you've had your thyroid removed, you will always need to be on medications because of that. But if you're hyperactive or hypoactive, a lot of the hyperactive ladies, it takes a lot longer to get your systems balanced, and that's okay. It's just the nature of hyperactive thyroid. But from a hypoactive, y'all know I can't talk. Hypoactive thyroids, right? That's underactive. It doesn't take quite as long as the hyper, and it is one of the most rewarding things that I've worked with people to do, because they don't know what to do, right? They're so confused by the whole process. And there's actually a lot of women who don't even know they have a thyroid condition at our age, right? Most of that is because they don't know the symptoms to be looking for, and doctors aren't going to test for. They'll run like a TSH, which is the thyroid stimulating hormone test, but that's not enough to find out if you actually have a thyroid condition, because it could come back as normal. And know that a doctor's normal for these tests are taken from other sick people. So it's not an optimal range. You've got a normal range of uh, measurements for your thyroid function from a list of sick people. Like, what the French toast, man? That is not accurate. So you have to know specifically what test to ask for. You can ask me about that. I'll shoot you a list of tests to ask for. But a lot of women in their 40s and above don't even know they have a thyroid condition. And it's because of the shift in our hormones, right? Often it is stress related. It could be gut health related. So there's several factors that can cause it, but the protocol is the same, right? So we want to make sure. One of the things I always tell people, one of the top things I take people off of first is gluten. You just got a major tip there. If you suspect you have a thyroid condition, gluten is going to be the first thing to go. It causes achy joints. It causes all sorts of problems, and your body doesn't recognize gluten. It's not just for people that have a gluten sensitivity. Gluten's a foreign object for most of our bodies, especially in the hormonal imbalance stages, right? Often it's stress related, right? So if you're in the perimenopause or menopause stage, if you have high stress, your body will take progesterone, one of your sex hormones that help you stay balanced, to make more cortisol. So then it makes you estrogen dominant. And then it shows up in brain fog, belly fat, all sorts of things, mood swings, tender breasts during your cycles, even heavy bleeding. So things to look out for if you think you might have a thyroid condition is going to be hair loss, low energy, trouble losing weight, right? And then ask your doctor, say, listen, can you run a thyroid panel? Not just a regular thyroid test. Can you run a thyroid panel so I can see if I truly have a thyroid condition? And if you want to know the list of tests, just let me know. But to answer her question, it is 100% possible to manage it without medication, right? I'm not saying don't take your medications. That is 100% between you and your doctor. But know that it is possible to do it naturally. It's going to come down to lifestyle change. It's going to come down to nutrition change. And often when I'm working with someone, there's some other changes that we have to make as we work with them and things show up. There are specific toxins in our environment that people with thyroid conditions should not be exposed to, because it's going to further affect your thyroid. If you have a thyroid condition and you're drinking water from the faucet, stop it right now. Get you a filter, not a Brita filter. There's a zero filter that I like, and it takes out stuff like chlorine that's in it, right? So there's so many byproducts in our drinking water, right? They add chlorine to our drinking water, which is going to affect your thyroid function. So lifestyle change, nutrition change. Sometimes there are natural supplements that you may need to get your thyroid functioning properly, but it really depends on how you present, right? Making sure you're getting protein, right? Because the tyrosine in the protein is part of what your thyroid needs to function and to make T4. And then you need other nutrients to convert that T4 to T3, right? So it really just depends. And I think I spoke about this last week. It really depends on how you present, right? You may be making T4, but is it being converted to the active form of T3? And is it getting into your cells, right? So there are so many things that we can do to help you get that thyroid functioning without medication. So I don't know if I mentioned, one of my clients lost over 30 pounds and got her energy back. She was sleeping better. And it was really just so amazing to see and witness. I actually have a few thyroid clients that are presenting in different ways, and it's all about those key components. So yes, it is possible. There's another one, Mercedes. Oh gosh, I didn't check with her about this, but I talk about her all the time, so I'm certain she's okay. She's okay with me talking about her because she's doing amazing. And she actually has Graves, which is a form of hyperactive thyroid condition, and she's dropping weight consistently. She's eating that in a way now that works with her thyroid so that it keeps dropping, and her medication has been consistently being dropped with every visit, and her energy is better than it's been in years. And it's so funny. We do a client check-in every week, and she was telling me, is a certain, like I mentioned gluten, right? if you have Graves or hyperactive thyroid, gluten is, well, I don't want to say it's just for that. If you have an autoimmune condition, gluten is the first thing you need to get rid of, right? So she went to an event and there was burgers there and she was getting ready to eat one because you're in a habit of doing certain things. And she said, I started and I took a bite, and immediately, because we've changed her eating quite a bit over the few months we've been working together, and she's like, it didn't even taste the same, and I knew immediately it wasn't going to be worth how I was going to feel after, because her body responds almost immediately, and she can recognize that now. That's what the great thing is. Let me tell you something, y'all. If you are giving your body what it needs, right? If you are taking in the right nutrients, you're getting rid of the things that your body is not responding well to and causing diseases that you need to be on medications for, and you take all that out and you're living in a way that falls in line with how your body wants to function. So you're not having to be on medications for life. So you're not feeling like crap. You're not tired, not bloated. The moment you have something that not falls in line, but goes against that, you will feel it. And she's experienced that a couple of times. And it was so rewarding. And I almost wanted to cry when she told me, because she's like, the moment I bit it, number one, she could taste the difference in the quality of the meat. I tell y'all about grass-fed meats for a reason, right? She said I could taste the difference in the quality of the meat. And when I bit into it, I immediately was like, it's not going to be worth it, right? Because she knows her body that well now. And I almost want to cry because it's so amazing week to week to talk to her, and as she's losing more and more weight, and she knows and understands her body and how it functions, and has found better ways to enjoy. She eats great food still. Don't think she's deprived for a second. She eats great food. She's found better quality food and things to help her enjoy life that fall in line with her body. And it's so amazing to see. So I say all that to say, yes, it is possible. It takes lifestyle change, nutrition change, how you're presenting, so we know how to make changes. But know that you can do this, and know that you can be in charge of your body, and you don't have to stay on medications if you don't want to. And in some cases, if you don't need to, because there are natural ways to do so many things. But that's it, because y'all, I can go on a soapbox about all of this, because I firmly believe that so many people are taking medications for things that you can naturally heal the body for, right? Like they're taking pills for things that my clients are healing naturally. That's the way I wanted to say that. But anyway, so that's all I got for you this week. Until next time, same bat channel, same bat time. I think I said it backwards. But I'll see you guys next week. Ciao.